Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a challenge we all face. How do you actually grow and expand what feels possible for you without completely burning out in the process? We're going to break down a practical guide to do it sustainably. And let's start with this idea because it really gets to the heart of it. Look, we all kind of know that growth means stepping into the unknown, but actually living that day to day, that is a whole different ballgame. It's just so easy to mistake that feeling of safety and comfort for wisdom. So here's what we're going to cover. We've structured this to walk you through exactly how to leave your comfort zone, but safely. We'll start by understanding what it's really for, look at the risks of staying put, and then, the best part, dive into the practical methods you can use to create real, lasting change. Okay, let's dive right in. And first things first, let's get one major myth out of the way. Your comfort zone, it's not a personality flaw. It is not some enemy that you need to declare war on. It's actually a necessary space, We all need it. It's where we feel safe, where we have our routines, and most importantly, it's where we recover. It helps us protect our energy. The only time it becomes a problem is when that place of recovery becomes your permanent address.
Now, what's so interesting about the price of staying too comfortable for too long is that it's rarely some big dramatic event. It doesn't just show up one day. No, it's more like a slow, quiet tax that just accumulates over time.
And here's what that looks like in real life. It's that skill you never got around to developing because you were waiting to feel ready. It's that difficult conversation you kept putting off. Over time, all these little acts of avoidance, they cause your world and your sense of what's possible for you to slowly shrink. But here's the good news. There's a well-established antidote to this pattern, and it's called gradual exposure. The idea is simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You face the things that scare you in small, totally manageable steps. And by doing that, you actually retrain your brain and weaken that deep-seated instinct to avoid. So this next point is absolutely crucial to get right. Not all discomfort is created equal. I think one of the biggest mistakes we all make is assuming that more discomfort automatically means more growth. And it just doesn't work that way. And there's actually a scientific principle that illustrates this perfectly. It's called the Yerkes-Dodson law. It basically shows that our peak performance, when we learn best and do our best work, happens in a middle range of manageable stress. Not in total comfort, but definitely not in a state of panic either. There's a sweet spot. This is the key distinction you need to make every single time. A healthy challenge that stretches your abilities and it invites you to learn. But overload? That just overwhelms your system. It triggers shutdown or avoidance. One builds trust with yourself, while the other leads straight to burnout. And just asking this question differently, it changes everything. It reframes the whole goal from one of, brute force endurance to one of sustainable, intelligent growth. It's about getting better, not just being tougher. Okay, so enough theory. Let's get into the practical method, because real transformation is usually much, much quieter than we imagine. It doesn't require some giant, terrifying leap of faith. It all starts with what we can call a micro-challenge, and the key word here is strategic. This is an action that is strategically small enough that your nervous system can handle it, but real enough to move you just a tiny bit beyond your default behavior. So what does this actually look like? Well, it could be as simple as speaking up just once in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. Or maybe it's just introducing yourself to one new person. Or finally sending that one email you've been putting off. See? One small, concrete, manageable step. And here is why this is so darn effective. It builds what psychologists call self-efficacy. You see, confidence isn't something you just decide to have one day. It's not wishful thinking. It's the conclusion your brain draws after it sees clear, cold, hard evidence of your capabilities. And every single micro-challenge you complete is another piece of that evidence. Now let's talk about the internal work this all requires. Because your comfort zone, it isn't just built from your habits. It's built from your very identity. It's built from the story you tell yourself about who you are. And one of the most powerful shifts you can make is just in your language. So instead of stating a fixed negative identity like, I'm not good at this, you just reframe it as an active, ongoing process. I'm learning this. Or instead of, I'm just not a confident person, you say, I'm building confidence. That simple change from a static description to an active verb, It gives you permission to be a work in progress. And that's a game changer. So the crucial takeaway here is that action has to come first. Confidence isn't the ticket you need to get into the game. It is the trophy you get for playing. These small, repeated actions are what literally rewrite that internal story you tell yourself about what you can and cannot do. So maybe this is the most practical way to think about confidence. It's not some magical mood or a personality trait you're either born with or you're not. It is simply the memory you have built, piece by piece, of handling challenges and surviving the stretch.
So let's put it all together. Here's the entire process, the whole cycle, in 5 simple steps. And remember, this isn't a one-time fix. It's a sustainable loop for making growth your new normal. You choose an area, you take one small step, you repeat it, you recover, and then you stretch just a little bit further. And all of that leaves us with one final question for you to take with you. Don't think about next year or even next month. Just think about this week. What is one small, manageable act of courage you can take that your future self is going to thank you for? Choose it, make it specific, and then do it before you feel ready. Because that, right there, is where the growth really begins.